This is Lucky Lake Mine in Dinwiddie, Virginia. Now, it may not look like much, but there's treasure hidden within, and today, we're here to find it.
We are at Lucky Lake Gem and Mineral Mine, where we have recreational gem mining for the family.
Now, when was the last time you thought, well, let's take the family out to a mine and dig through the dirt and hope we find something cool?
You got something good there.
Yeah, probably not the first idea on your list of things to do, but let me tell you, it is a blast.
Ooh, wow, that's
Look at that sucker. Here's how it works. There's no back-breaking work digging in a giant mine. You pick a bucket depending on how much dirt you want to sift through and what types of rocks you're looking for. Then you and your family dig in, literally.
The kids love it, and you know, it's a lot of fun for them to dig in some dirt and find some rocks, and they, collect the rocks.
The gems and minerals that come out of this mine are breathtaking, from amethyst to quartz and even rubies. To make your bucket even more interesting, Lucky Lake throws in gems and minerals not naturally found here. Some are from across the world, making this treasure you unearth even that much more special. This is a very unique hands-on experience that not only will keep the kids busy for the day, but parents, if you're trying to strike it rich, both gold and diamonds have popped up in the buckets here. In fact, in the entire state of Virginia, only 4 diamonds have been found, one of them right here. The mine is owned and operated by a family.
Let's see what we have.
So it's right on target that all the activities here are family-oriented. Whether it's huddling around the 100-foot flume to sift through your stash, or grabbing one of the picnic tables to have a nice family meal surrounded by nature.
A lot of family trips, the kids are off running, you're not really spending time with them here. You're sitting with your family, working and talking the whole time. These right here are your brachiated jasper. When you're finished, we're going to take you out to a table and lay all your stones out. We're going to tell you about all the stones.
It's just a good time we can go dig through the dirt, get gemstones, and have a nice picture.
All right, that's it.
Another very unique aspect of Lucky Lake is that Beth is a gem cutter.
So if you find a rock, and there's certain buckets that come with gem cutting, you're going to leave it with me, and I'm going to cut it for you into a gemstone that could be put into a piece of jewelry.
Oh my gosh, guys, check this out.
Reporting from the mines at Lucky Lake in Dinwiddie, I'm Tim Pandajis for 8 News Day. This week's 8 News Day Trippers takes us to the city of Charlottesville, where we are visiting Monticello, the home of our nation's 3rd president, Thomas Jefferson. You can see why it's such a remarkable landmark, thanks to its architecture, beautiful grounds, and spectacular views. Monticello is a complete reflection of Thomas Jefferson and the person he was. He was constantly experimenting with new building practices, ideas, and concepts, which is why the home was nearly always under some sort of construction or renovation during his time here. It's what we call a work in progress. Nowadays, the public can experience and understand President Jefferson by exploring his life, both politically and privately, through tours and activities offered at Monticello.
When you come here to Monticello, there are more than 100 things that you can do besides taking a tour of the house here. We offer family programs and family tours. We have exhibit galleries down below, a Griffin Discovery Room, which is great if you have a family with young children.
Recently, Monticello underwent a major restoration project called the Mountaintop Project to bring the home back to the time of Jefferson and revive different levels of the home, which are now available for viewing by the public.
One of the things that people who have been here before might be interested in is taking our behind-the-scenes tour, which is an offering we have 6 times a day.
Monticello was designed by Jefferson to be totally self-sufficient with what seemed like a fully functioning miniature city, with its own slave population that tended to the farms and livestock, as well as cultivating numerous cash crops to sustain Jefferson's ventures. We're standing in Thomas Jefferson's vegetable garden. Essentially, this was his laboratory where he experimented with over 330 different varieties and 99 species of plants. Now today, this is used to cultivate and preserve seeds. Mulberry Road was a site of industry and agriculture in Jefferson's time and is now in the process of being restored. There are also numerous ongoing archaeological digs here, like this one, right on Mulberry Road. Events are held at Monticello throughout the year, and a schedule of upcoming activities can all be found on their website. Reporting in Charlottesville, for 8 News Day Trippers, I'm Tim Pandajis. Located off of Carey Street in downtown Richmond, you'll find a museum dedicated to the remembrance of those who suffered and perished during the Holocaust. In particular, an emphasis is placed on those lost who were relatives or friends of those here in Virginia. Today, we take 8 News day trippers to the Virginia Holocaust Museum.
The Richmond community deserves an educational place like this where they can come and learn about the Holocaust without having to drive 2 hours up to D.C., but also that there's a story that our Richmond survivors have that's worth telling.
One of the exhibits in the museum tells the story of one of Richmond's youngest Holocaust survivors and co-founder of the museum, Jay Ibsen, whose family escaped capture by living underground for months during World War II. We're here at an exhibit called Paskovsky's Farm, which is actually a bunker underground, where Jay, one of the founding members of the museum, lived for 3 months with 12 other people to avoid capture by Lithuanian authorities. This past January marked 7 decades since the liberation of Auschwitz, and the museum is launching a new traveling exhibit to commemorate it.
We're creating a traveling exhibit for the 70th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, which is this year. This is going to allow us to have a permanent exhibit that the museum owns, that's based on museum material, that we can ship out to other institutions around the country.
Walking through the museum, you become immersed not only in the hardships and terror of the Holocaust, but also the Allied attempts and successes at liberating those devastating concentration camps that were built throughout Europe.
The sort of crown jewel, I suppose, of the museum, the most recent permanent exhibit that we've added, the Nuremberg courtroom. The Nuremberg courtroom tells the story of the trial of the major Nazi war criminals.
We're standing in the only full-size replica in the world of courtroom 600 in Nuremberg, the site of where the Nazis were held accountable for their crimes and tried. Over here, the defendants, the highest-ranking Nazi officers captured during the war. And on this side, the judges, 2 from each country, Russia, Britain, France, and the United States. The Virginia Holocaust Museum uses its exhibits to educate its visitors and help them leave with a better understanding of what prisoners of the camps went through nearly 70 years ago. Reporting in Richmond, Virginia, I'm meteorologist Tim Pandajis. Welcome to Newport News, home of the Mariners Museum, one of the oldest and most prestigious maritime museums in the United States.
Mariners Museum makes an excellent day trip because there's something here for everyone.
There you go.
Interactivities for the kids and the younger members of the family, exhibitions that are world-class that explain how all of humanity is touched by our relationship with the sea.
Did you know more people have visited the moon than the bottom of the ocean? Yeah, it's a vastly unexplored world beneath the waves, and an exhibit called Extreme Deep Mission to the Abyss takes you on an adventure to the depths of the ocean. As we know, the Civil War is huge in the story of Virginia, and the museum has a unique exhibit highlighting a naval battle that involves ships who were the first of their kind just off the coast. The infamous battle between the USS Monitor and the CSS Virginia, also known as the Merrimack, is center stage at the USS Monitor Center.
Iron ships fighting each other for hours on end. That entire story, as well as the Civil War in Virginia, can be found in the Monitor Center here.
We're here at a crowd favorite at the USS Monitor Center. Now, both ships that were involved in the battle, the Virginia and the Monitor, sank. The Virginia during the battle, the Monitor later on during a storm. Now, the gun turret at the top of the USS Monitor, this is what it would have looked like after it was raised from the bottom of the ocean. Now, back during the battle, when it was in service, this is what it would have looked like. Guns on a revolving turret. Revolutionary because it was the first of its kind. The actual gun turret from the USS Monitor is on site, preserved in a giant tank where it remains completely submerged for preservation purposes. Even a full-scale reproduction of the Monitor has been built, allowing visitors to step aboard the vessel that changed naval warfare. The museum is certainly a full-day affair, and you can grab lunch at the on-site restaurant, spend some time outside on the park grounds, and even try your hand at controlling a remote-operated vehicle's robotic arms to capture artifacts from the bottom of the ocean. It can all be found at the Mariners Museum. Reporting from Newport News for 8 News Day Trippers, I'm Tim Pandajis.